Hey everyone, welcome back. I am currently recording in the early hours of the morning, so I'll be surprised if there are as many background noises as the last couple. That was quite ridiculous actually. So we just made it to the bottom of depths. Here's our entrance to Zot, which we can't enter. So that means it's time to go find our third rune. The big question, and I see this one asked on Reddit a lot. Where do you go for a third rune? Once upon a time, the the answer was pretty much always vaults. I'm talking a long time ago in crawl, and this was the shared wisdom of, I don't know. Certainly, if you ever went on the IRC chat or if you ever go on the tavern forum, people would tell you do vaults, and I kind of see that belief still around a lot. You'll see a lot of new people will, for some reason, they'll just go do vaults as if that's the standard rune. I think if you read a lot of kind of outdated guides on the wiki, the crawl wiki, which is not a good place to go by the way, because a lot of it is out of date. But I think a lot of these guides will tell you that you should go do vaults. So for some reason, the prevailing opinion, for new players that is that you should do vaults. I don't think that's correct. And, well, I'll explain why. Vaults 5 is one of the most dangerous places in the game. It's really, really scary. Pretty much there is a huge potential for things to go wrong on Vaults 5. And if you get trapped on the level, as you're likely to do, teleporting away won't necessarily help you, because even when you teleport, you still probably won't be able to leave. So it's kind of like you commit to doing Vaults 5, and then no matter how bad it goes, you're probably not escaping. What are the other options? We'll go back to our rune screen. So we're looking at these three. The other two options are the Abyss and the Slime Pit. A few versions ago, it was actually kind of cool. If you had a look at all my 3 rune games, I think I had almost an exact split between a third of each, which I thought was really cool because it indicated to me, at least, that these 3 places were kind of pretty well balanced. As in, you pick one in one game, you pick another in another game, and then the third in a third type of game. Unfortunately, well, not necessarily unfortunately, but there have been some changes in the last couple of versions of crawl that have made it such that that's no longer the case. The first is that the slime pits became the one that I would least want to go to. And a major reason for that is because in the slime pit, there's one particular enemy which is called let's try again. Is it? No, I can't remember the name of it, which is a bit embarrassing. Anyway, it's an eye. It's a shining eye. That's what it's called. There we go. A shining eye. It possesses this spell, and it's all it does. You can see here, there's nothing saying that it can hit you for any amount of damage because it doesn't attack. The only thing it does is hit you with malmutate, which gives you bad mutations most of the time. Once upon a time, you could have an amulet of resist mutation. They've been removed. So if you do slime, you will almost certainly be mutated badly. That's the main reason I would say that slime is now the least enticing branch to go to. If you really want to do slime, the things that you need, if you want to do it anyway, you need to 100% be wearing resist corrosion the whole time, because slimes corrode you, or at least the dangerous ones do. And you probably also want to have some form of cold resistance, because one of the slimes, this one, hits for a lot of cold damage. Here you go. It can deal up to 45 extra cold damage if any damage is dealt. You can see it can hit twice and twice. It has 4 attacks. So once 4 attacks, it can potentially do 1,000,000 cold damage if you don't have any RC. The way slime works is that you dive it, you don't explore the first floors, and on the 5th floor you fight the royal jelly, which is a big slime boss fight, and that's a really scary fight. I won't describe it more than that, but basically slime is the least appealing rune to do now. The other change that got made, which separates Vaults and Abyss in my mind, is that, well, I'll explain a little bit what the Abyss is. You've seen Vaults, you've got a fairly good idea of what that is. It's a whole bunch of dangerous monsters, and you're kind of trapped in the middle of a level, and a whole bunch are going to run at you at once. The Abyss is a randomly generated, infinitely sprawling, I don't know, it's kind of like a chaos themed, hellish, I don't know, something or other. But monsters generate randomly, and tiles and items and everything generate randomly. There are 5 floors to the Abyss. Portals up and down will generate randomly, although portals up are really portals out. From the 3rd floor to the 4th and 5th, you can find the rune. As you get deeper, the monsters generate more often, so it gets more dangerous as you go down, but it also increases your chance to find a rune vault. That's what the Abyss is. The reason that the Abyss got changed to be nicer is that once upon a time, the stairs down to lower floors in the Abyss were entirely randomly generated. So if you got really unlucky, you'd end up walking around potentially for hours trying to find stairs down, and there was nothing you could do about it. The change that was made is that now you can generate stairs up and down in addition to RNG, and also the more time you spend, the more likely you are to find stairs too. But you can increase your chances by killing monsters, which means you can essentially fight your way through the Abyss. It's dependent a little on your XP, so if you get Abyss at an early level by someone like Louise, who you can banish, you can try to kill one single dangerous enemy and just hope, because your XP is really low, your XL level is really low, and the XP of that monster is high, that it will just immediately generate an exit. So when you're going back now as your 3rd rune, you have to kill more monsters to generate exits. But the point is that you no longer can get completely screwed by RNG, because as you fight your way around, you will invariably create staircases down, which to me makes the Abyss pretty much, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put a percent on, but in the vast majority of 3 rune games, I would do the Abyss. I'd say I probably do 80%, maybe even 85, 90% of my games are Abyss runes. I'll say 80, but certainly most of them will be Abyss. And I don't know why, but people are still really afraid of the Abyss. The thing about the Abyss, and in fact that's what we're going to do, so let's go there and I'll talk about it as we walk around. In this case you can't use capital G to go to the Abyss because it's not technically a place. What we're doing is we're using Control F to find a one-way gate in. By the way, there's always a guaranteed, at least one guaranteed gate into the abyss in depths. So once you've done all of depths, there'll be one somewhere. If you haven't found one, that means there's probably some sort of hidden area that you haven't seen yet. Okay, so once we go in, we won't be able to leave immediately, which means we're going to eat first. And we're going to eat this fruit, and even we'll go bread ration. And another one. So now we're engorged. Okay, if we go in, we won't be able to come back out. And we're going to be looking for, what are they called? They're not called portals down, they're called something down. We're going to be looking for the stairs down. Book. Okay, so the thing about the abyss is, because monsters are randomly spawning everywhere, it's kind of hard to rest. We just lost 5 AC because armor fits poorly on a strangely shaped body. We have 2 Q mutations, so we'll cough 1. You feel clever, you feel weaker, your body shape seems normal. Okay, so we got rid of everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cured off that one. So as I was saying, it's kind of hard to rest in the abyss. You can do it, but it's hard. We're gonna R for read. Let me see what that is. +0. No. Useless. I don't even remember what the initial point I was making is. But anyway, it's kind of hard to rest here. So Abyss isn't as nice for pure mages because it's hard to get their mana back. But the thing about the Abyss is, because it's infinite, it means that you can teleport away from any danger. And that's the thing about the Abyss. So the Abyss has something that actually indicates it. But any teleports, there it is, a gateway deeper. So we're going down to 2. And then if we can get down one more, then we can potentially find the room. So your teleports are delayed slightly. But the thing is that as long as you are careful, it's not even careful, it's just if you see any sort of dangerous situation, as long as you teleport early, it's very hard to die in the Abyss. Because you're going to end up somewhere where those monsters aren't, because it's infinite. So my main tip for the Abyss is, if something looks dangerous to you, even if you just see an enemy and you go, that's some form of red enemy, that looks scary, or there's 2 enemies at once that I don't really want to fight, or there's an ancient lich or something like that, you just teleport immediately and then you'll be fine. If you try to wait until you have a 3rd HP, you may not be fine. Here is one enemy. Oops, I tried to hit X. Or XV. Here's one enemy that's important to note, because you absolutely cannot ignore them. These star-cursed masses, what happens is they do a shriek, which is an irresistible damage, so your AC can't help you. But if you don't hurt them, they split and they keep building up, and each one will shriek. So if you let them split, each turn you start taking a lot of irresistible damage. And as well, I don't know if there's a particular number, but if there are enough of them and they shriek, you get paralyzed. So they're pretty fragile, as you can see. I'm pretty much one-shotting the split dudes. But the point is, when you see them, back around a corner somewhere, or get to them immediately, because you can't just be fighting other random stuff while they're splitting. Right, here we go. We're already down to Abyss 3, so we can potentially find the rune now. I'm going to rest here for a bit. There's one, we'll step around the corner. Okay. I'm going to rest here. You can see that as I'm trying to rest, all these new monsters keep appearing. By the way, digging is very useful in the Abyss. In case you run into like little dead ends like this, you can just dig your way through. Let them come to us. There we go, we got paralyzed, but it was only... They don't paralyze you for a long time. You can see by killing stuff, we generated an exit there. What did it say? The substance of the abyss twists violently, gateway leading out appears. That's the message for your killing stuff generating an exit. I'm going to Trog's hand because, as we know, it's hard to rest in here. Okay, and we're looking for a rune vault. I'll point it out to you, but there's a special sort of tile that will denote a rune vault. We haven't seen one of these guys. This guy also has malmutate. They're not as bad as the shining eyes in slime because they do other things too. So it's not like with the shining eyes, every turn they can see you, they mutate you. Whereas this guy will do these other spells and he'll potentially just try to attack you too. So this is a sort of thing where, say we really didn't want to get mutated. As soon as we've seen this enemy, we can just go, okay, well screw that. I have 13 scrolls of teleport and I have a wand with another 4. I'm just going to read teleport now and then just start walking away. And it's taking quite a while to kick in, which is how the abyss works. And there we go. So now that enemy's gone and we know how to deal with it, and we won't have to deal with it again because it's not like we're on a set floor and as we wander around something invis is hitting us. Let's put on our ring. It's not like we're walking around a floor where we're going to bump into it again. No, it's now gone. Get out of that chaos. Anyway. Chaos made that guy go invis. Alright, so we're looking for a rune vault. The rune vaults are all, they're all kind of different. We got a gateway leading down. So this is another question. What do? Do you just walk around on Abyss 3 with a lower chance of finding the rune? Do you head straight to Abyss 5 where more monsters but better chance of finding the rune? And the answer to that is kind of, it depends. I'd say as a general rule, especially we're already XL level 23, so we're relatively high level. It's not like we're here at XL level 20 or something like that. Say we'd been abyssed in, I don't know, while we're in vaults or something, and we felt we were maybe strong enough to walk around and try to find the rune. You wouldn't go down, you'd stay on 3. But at a time like this, unless I'm in the super late game, and I'm, say, more around XL 27, I wouldn't recommend going to Abyss 5, because the monster spawn rate on Abyss 5 is much higher. Abyss 4 is fine, and that's what we're going to do now, but I wouldn't go deeper. There's gateways leading out. Let's just put our ring on rather than this silliness. all the different rune vaults kind of have themes. Some of them are harder than others. And the thing about it is that it's not like there's one rune in the Abyss where if that's your rune vault, then that's your rune vault, and if you miss it, then you miss a rune or anything like that. No. If you see a rune vault and you try to get the rune and it's not really working out, maybe it's a particularly dangerous one, you can just, here we go, there's a gateway leading down to 5. I don't want to take it. I'm happy on 4. As you continue to find new rune vaults, new runes will continue to spawn in each one. There's a Star Curse mass. We don't want to let it keep splitting, so I'll just step around the corner. And this is something else that can happen in the Abyss. You can just randomly get teleported, which can be super annoying if you just fought your way through a rune vault and you're about to pick the rune up and then you are pulled to a different location. That's a tormentor. You can perhaps guess what a tormentor does. Yep, it can torment you. They don't see invis. That's one thing to know if you really don't want to get tormented. It hasn't seen us though, so I'm just gonna see if maybe I can just walk away casually. Yep. Okay, never saw us. If he had seen me, I could have... okay. Gordon's saying he likes my series. Thank you, Gordon. I like your series. If you haven't seen him, he has a very good YouTube channel too. But if you really didn't want to get tormented, you could have invised. Or just lure him around a corner, and then maybe he might get 1 or 2 torments off. If you're unlucky. These wretched stars are kind of interesting monsters. They give you mutations. Let's see if it happens to us. There we go. So it's given us what the game calls a transient mutation. What that means is he potentially will give you a whole bunch of bad ones, but as you gain experience, you'll get rid of them. Why can I've got cap lock on. There we go. So let's see. I'm currently -4 dex. That ancient Zion made me sick. Sick means that you cannot regenerate health, and you potentially can get stat drained and HP drained. You can cure it with a potion of curing. Since we have 17 of them, we'll just cough one and then be done with it. Okay, so we got rid of the dex one, and we're now very dopey. But these will go away as we fight more stuff. Already? Not yet. The purple guy is currently summoning a whole bunch of stuff. He is a shadow demon. They do shadow creatures. And he's also being annoying by walking away. Okay, got him. Just hide ourselves. It's fine. And really, as long as we see, if I kind of hide myself in a nook like this, I might be able to heal up. Doesn't look like it. Okay, Trog gave us a rune demon blade. That's the sword. New stars. No. The game's not letting us heal, which is what I was saying before. Anyway, there we go, we got to heal. And we're just going to keep wandering around. More decks. I'll point out the rune tile when we see it. I'm trying not to get mutated by this guy. Actually, he didn't see us. Let's just book it. Ah, no mind, sorry. Feel your magical essence linked to your wands. This means that you have to have 3 magic every time you fire a wand, which is fine because we don't use our magic for anything. The Lich, we want to put on Trog's hand, and we want to put on our anti-magic axe. Fine. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. We found an abyssal rune, as in we just saw it through this window. So in here is obviously a rune vault, and let's walk around to the front. This glowy tile that you see means there's some sort of holy enemy. That lurking horror, yes it did. The lurking horror is gonna torment us, and there's nothing you can do about that. If it hits you, you get tormented. Ow. Because we're 6, so we're not healing, and we're on low health, we're gonna quickly quaff curing, and I'm gonna chuck on Trog's hand. Got it. And we picked up his magical cloak. But as I was saying, these shiny tiles are some form of angel or holy thing. In this case, it's an orphan. Okay, we're trying to get around to the front of this vault. Nope. It has a lot of mutators in it. What's interesting is that this vault hasn't had the little rune tile out the front. I don't know what that means. Maybe this is a special vault. I haven't seen any patch notes that say anything about removing those. Okay. Alright. Well, because this seems like maybe it's a special vault, I'm gonna ignore it because I need to show you what a normal rune vault looks like. I'm just throwing Trog's hand on because I'm quite hurt. Let's try to get to those dudes. Okay. Just fighting a lot of stuff right now. Oh god, that's a lot of those dudes. But it's okay. Golden eyes can confuse you. 16% chance. I'm gonna throw Trog's hand on and quaff curing to get rid of that sick again. Alright. The thing about golden eyes is that if they start confusing you, they'll keep confusing you. There's a Hell Sentinel. Okay, that's a dangerous enemy. Let's teleport away. He's a tier 1 demon. He has Damnation and Iron Shot. And he's really tanky. Alright, we're gonna teleport. I really don't understand what the deal is with that vault up there. Don't know why. Anyway. Whoa. Accidentally hitting buttons. Okay. Death Drakes, oh, they're ugly. They shoot miasma. Miasma slows you and poisons you really badly if you don't have poison resistance. Again, I'm just gonna get rid of the sickness. Okay, there was any cure out of this too. I'm gonna Trog's hand. Oh, never mind. I got pulled to the abyss. That was another rune vault just there before we got teleported away. But that's okay. Hellions, they fire damnation. There you go. Bam. They're very fragile though. This sickness, I don't know. Well, it went away. We're generating a lot of doorways down. Whereas once upon a time it could get really frustrating. You could just get stuck in the abyss for hours. Okay. And okay, well, we're gonna check this out, because if you ever see anything that kind of looks like it's been generated. Oh, we just got Abyss deeper. So now we're in Abyss 5. I didn't know that could happen. Ah, right, of course. Because a spatial maelstrom hits you with what are essentially distortion attacks. So one of which can be, I guess, to banish you. And I suppose what happens if you get banished when you're already in the Abyss is you get banished deeper. Interesting. I'm not sure that's ever happened to me before, but there you go. Okay, so now we're in Abyss 5. This is somewhere, there's a Shining Eye too, which are the things we were just talking about that you don't want to do slime pits for. You should do Abyss instead, and here we are finding them in Abyss, so maybe all of everything I'm telling you is crap. Okay, here we go. Here's a rune vault. See these tiles here? These kind of, they're a, not aqua, it's kind of like a turquoise color maybe. I don't know. Maybe some sort of color experts can tell me. But these 4 little things like this on these tiles, they indicate that you've just found a rune vault. So you pretty much walk around till you find one of them, and when you find one of them, it's telling you you are about to find a rune. So in this case, well, there you go. The Draconian has the ability to blink allies encircling, which is what just happened here. But that's fine. We can fight elephants. We want to put on our Trog's Hand for this Lich and the anti-magic. Oh, is that a crystal sphere we just ate? Yes, it did. We just ate a crystal sphere. Okay, we're gonna quaff for heal wounds because we don't want to get crystal speared again and die. Q for quaff. Heal wounds. 154 should be... should be alright, but I guess he's hasted, so he could hit us twice. Let's go one more. Quaff another heal wounds. 174. That's a bit better. Okay, got him. Back to freezing. Okay. We'll just step out of sight of this guy. Pick up this rude axe. Oh man, this is hurting. Check on Trog's Hand. Okay. The deal with this one is that it's a little lava island. It did have a whole bunch of elephants, which are elephants that shoot fire, and dire elephants, except they all got blinked on us. And then there's going to be a little room in here that has the room. So we're going to quaff a potion of flight. I'm going to fly over there. And you can see a couple more of those tiles around the door. More elephants and a spatial maelstrom. Hopefully the spatial maelstroms don't teleport us around. That'd suck. Okay, while we got the chance, no, let's run and grab it before we get teleported anyway. And now that we've got it, let's read a scroll of teleportation. We're just gonna kind of walk away from this stuff while we're waiting for it to kick in. That was a blink. Ah, I didn't know, but it looks like this vault also spawns potions of flight, just in case you needed it. That's very kind of them. There we go, pulled to a different region. Cool. We're gonna chuck Trog's hand on, and then we're gonna see if we can rest. The nice thing about Abyss as well is that once you've found the rune, your chances of finding stairways out and generating stairways out increases by a lot. So once you got it, it shouldn't be too much of a problem to get out. Eat beef jerky. There we go, we generated a gateway out. Let's leave. And there you go, that's our third rune. We'll finish it there for this one.